Smackers burgers ever. Time to shine, baby.
Welcome back to the LCS. It is your time to shine, baby.
Patent pending, patent pending.
Let's get ours now.
Yes, exactly.
I'm just going to say, this apron makes me look a little hippie. I'm just like one big block.
Oh, you mean like bigger in the hips? I
Like
thought you meant
hippie.
like it meant you look like, hey man, peace and love, dude.
No. Screw those guys. What do you make for the dessert?
Well, Nick, Jake, what I'm gonna do is instruct you both to make me a brownie in a mug. All right. So what I've not. You can look.
We're going to make it.
Well, no, I'm gonna tell you what to do, and then you're gonna.
Okay. So we're going to make it.
Yes, but
Okay.
you can vouch for the fact that I spent most of that game playing on my phone and not looking at a recipe at all.
Totally.
So Jake, I think I need you to break up that chocolate, please.
He's in his element. He is in his element.
Nick,
Yes.
could you melt?
That chocolate
Could you melt like let's say a third of? Smash the fuck.
So what next?
Could you please melt that? No, could you please melt? Let's say a third of that, or maybe a quarter of that butter in that mug.
How do I work with this man every week? You can't cut it on the same board you just broke mug on?
Of course I can.
There'll be
You
a
broke
small
mug.
amount of ceramic in this brownie, but it's texture. It is texture.
Crunch. Every you need different shades.
Yeah.
How much?
I reckon that's enough. Maybe
But
put,
mine
Yep.
is a genuine technique for breaking up.
all right, I reckon get
Mine is
that.
genuine
Get a bit
technique for breaking a
of
mug.
Get a bit of water.
So sorry, am I
What?
putting this in a mug or am I putting this in a bowl?
No, you want to put it in the mug to melt it.
Okay, so there we
Not the broken one.
Yeah, a bit of that.
And a bit of water.
Because water's what powers a microwave, isn't it?
But there's water in butter.
Well, I don't know.
Arguable.
That is very
Clearly
clear.
not enough.
Clean not enough?
Yeah,
Maybe
needs more.
might need a bit more than 10 seconds. All right. So now, what else do you put in a brownie? Bit of that. Probably some flour.
I
Could you
reckon
please?
maybe an egg yolk?
Oh,
You want
great
an egg
idea.
yolk or
Yeah,
no egg
crack.
yolk?
Yeah, can you crack it on a flat surface, Jake? I don't know if you know this, but if you crack it on a corner, you'll get shell in it.
And then what you do, right, is so you get it, you crack it in half, and then
Oh, he's keeping it in.
Ooh.
Lovely.
Now, Nick, could you neatly
Yep.
administer?
How
let's
much?
say 3 spoons of that into that mug. No, 3. Oh, whoop. There's so much equipment. There's so much broadcast equipment that's going to be filled with.
so now that is an egg yolk separated from the egg white.
That is basically melted butter. Oh, that's very smart.
It yolk, baby. All right, let's go. Egg yolk into the
just
butter.
put- just
I
before-
reckon you're going to want to put flour in there first because otherwise you're going to scramble your egg yolk.
Oh,
but
good
I'm not
call.
going to tell you how to cook. So if you want me to do this,
No. All right, let's go. That butter. Nick, if you're going to read chat, I'm going to take over
Sorry,
this.
I'm just reading. Guacamole says, do they have meetings where they decide what they're going to do? Like this week was cook like an infant. Literally,
Okay.
I walked into the building on Tuesday and was like, I want to do a cooking segment
that is
where
a
we can
lot
only
of
use
butter,
a
but I
microwave.
like it.
All right, let's go in there.
Beautiful.
Bit of that. Give me that spoon, baby. All right, so the
just,
important...
just so you know, only half of that butter was melted. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm sure it's fine.
Do you want the flour?
No, the flour's already in there.
Vigorously stir.
Vigorously stir.
What flavor is this muffin?
What flavour is the mug?
Plain.
Muffin? No, it's not a muffin. It's a brownie.
Okay. What
Get a bit
flavor
of
is
choco
the
in there. Where's the chocolate?
What's the difference between a muffin and brownie?
A brownie is a square, and a muffin
Do
is.
you want melted chocolate or do you want?
Oh yeah,
cold
let's melt it.
chocolate?
Let's
Yeah,
melt a bit of
let's
chocolate.
melt
That's
the
a
Go in
question.
there.
So
Can
the
you
best
get
way to melt chocolate.
Bit of water.
non-chocolate
Okay,
brownies?
say
I,
milk?
I'm jumping in
I'm gonna
here.
go with
Oh,
milk.
If
milk's
you're
probably
at
better.
home, do not put chocolate in the microwave. What you
Bit of
do to
milk?
make it melted is
No.
you get a bowl.
Do you want butter?
You put water in the bowl,
Oh,
and
you're a
you
buzzkill.
boil the water, and then you put another bowl on top. You put
Look.
chocolate in that one, and it melts that way.
I'm sorry.
That's how you don't burn your chocolate.
Do
you are destroying that
see,
microwave.
Do you see some
Any
sort
of
of
those
elaborate
Yeah.
Benji copper cooking desktop
Make
computer?
a fire. You can make a fire. I bet you can make a
don't-
fire.
don't
the
even tempt
NBN
me.
of this broadcast.
That's enough. That's enough. Take it out.
Take it out. Guys, I just want to point out that I'm wearing the chef hat, so everyone could just calm down, please, because this is.
This is not even close to being melted.
Isn't it?
Benji doesn't know what he's talking about. This is going to be delicious.
We've got to keep stirring, otherwise it's going to set. Got to keep stirring. This is dough. I've made quite a gross dough
Hingers,
here.
can you add maybe some sugar to that?
Well, I would if we had any, but you can choose. Do you want to put Starburst or bacon in it? Those are your options, Beach. Those are your options.
You're going to be eating
That's
it.
enough. That is definitely enough now.
Are we sure?
Yes.
Let me just finish tying the egg.
No,
Get it out.
take it out or you'll burn the damn pot.
Hang on, I got to do the front bit.
Oh my god.
It's smoking.
Can someone with a phone just push 0, 0 and just
It's
wait
not even melted
that
yet.
third
It's
0?
not even melted.
Let's put that in here. No, it can be chunky. Let's go. Let's put that in here.
It's
I feel like
100%
chunky brownie's a good
melted.
thing.
What,
Yeah.
Sorry?
I
Chunky
agree.
brownie.
Chunky brownie?
Yeah, you want bits of chocolate.
Well,
Yeah.
we will get some more chocolate.
Yeah,
Don't
let's
worry,
get a bit more
you got
chocolate.
bits in
And,
Sick.
and I reckon let's get some Starburst and put it in there as well because it's obviously the sugar content that we crave and need. And secondarily, everyone likes a bit of fun stuff in their brownies.
That's
you know
true.
What I mean?
Let's
Bit of-
put some fun stuff in here.
It's like when you no, not pepper. Do not season my brownie with pepper. what a sentence.
So far, if you guys want to see what
cute.
this looks
That's
like,
cute. That's
Why did you use your hand? Why did that have to go into the brownie?
I don't know.
I think what we do is we put the stuff in,
Yep.
and then you end with some sprinkles.
Oh,
on
that's a
top.
great idea. All right, I'm gonna go Starburst though.
So can I'm no mug brownie expert. It seems thicker
Alright,
than I
that's
would have expected.
That's enough.
So do you.
Touche.
And then,
We've done all right.
Are we looking good?
yeah, it smells like cheese, but I think it's fine. I mean, I don't know why it smells like cheese.
All right, we want some.
I've not put any cheese in it. Yeah, a bit of sprinkles.
I thought
And
that was
then-
at the end. Oh, this is the end. Oh, this is gonna like crunch on the top. Thank you very much.
Make you taste a little bit sweeter.
What do you reckon? Like 30 seconds in there?
I reckon like 45.
Well, it's
45,
already
alright.
it's already
Yeah, let's
like
go with 30.
par cooked.
It's not par cooked at all.
Do you want a sloppy brownie or do you want a set brownie, Beach? It's your choice. It's dealer's choice.
Whatever
on this
doesn't
regard.
make me throw up tomorrow morning. That's I'll go
Hey,
with that.
so far we've
No, set.
100%.
Set brownie?
Set brownie.
Okay.
I
Now
reckon-
we're gonna have enough time to come up with second dessert, so I'm really gonna push you here. We've got pasta, bread.
Have you guys
Chocolate.
ever tried a creamy egg? Now, what this basically is.
Do it, whatever it is.
It's okay. So what we're gonna do is, Jake, can you just crack this egg, and then Nick, can you just come down here and open your mouth, and then we're gonna we're gonna egg and cream in your mouth. It's like a it's actually.
keep going. Don't
you know-
stop it.
Don't stop it.
You know those Cadbury cream eggs?
Should I
This is
add
how
more
they
time?
started. It was
I'm gonna add
initially
more
made
time.
in the mouth.
I don't think you needed to add more time.
I added more time.
You look concerned. Are you worried it's going to burn?
I'm waiting for it to rise because when it rises, then
It's not self-raising
There
flour.
wasn't
Why is it
ri-
rising?
And I don't know
Yeah.
if there was
It
any.
should still rise because what happens when
Yeah, but it won't
water
rise that
molecules get agitated, it creates steam, and then steam makes shit rise, Beach.
They rise up.
I've made these before. It should rise in like the first 10 seconds.
Well, it hasn't, and I would like to apologise to the
Okay, how long
National
has that
Brownie
been?
I reckon
Corporation.
we're there.
And it's definitely rise.
Oh,
Hey,
I'm
look at
excited.
hey, that's a saucy brownie, baby.
Give him, yeah.
All right,
All right.
who's?
I'll try it.
Look at that.
All right, who wants to try my brownie?
Yeah,
It's like a
I'll try it.
it's like a fairy pooped in a cup.
Yeah, F in the chat if you'd try my brownie. Anyone? No? F in the chat? No? Anyone else want to get in on this? I cannot.
it's
No,
so
I don't know what you're
dense.
talking
Is
about.
it set?
There's
Well,
no better way for me to
it's kind
say
of like-
this.
It does smell like cheese. I think it needs a little bit more time.
Is
'Cause
there
it's
cheese
still
in
a
it?
bit doughy.
Yeah, it's
like
still
that's
doughy.
not.
Oh,
That's not
not a
brown.
brownie.
I mean, it's brown, but it's Can you just put a bit of milk in there? I think it needs something to like agitate the water molecules or whatever.
All right.
Jake was talking about.
I honestly don't know. Maybe it's the butter. Maybe that's what smells like cheese.
We've made
Chat-
cheese. From
Chad
the
is saying
butter.
it needs more cooking, and a lot of people are hitting F in chat.
Thank you. Look, and to people in the chat who are complaining about there was a better way to say it, I challenge you to find another way to ask people to try your brownie than just asking them to try your brownie. All right? It's efficient use of language.
You're going to mix it first?
Oh, fine.
Oh
we'll
my
mix
God.
It. Oh,
God
Your
damn.
Majesty, we'll
So
mix the brownie
sorry.
before you have to eat it.
Oh,
sir.
we must mix the brownie up. Must have been.
I'm
many-
big, and I
how
don't
many
eat brownies.
eggs can
How
you
many
crack at
friggin'
the
Michelin
same
stars
time?
do you have, mate?
You're right. Maybe I should defer to your lack of mixing.
What do you mean? How many eggs do I have to crack?
How many eggs can you crack at the same time? Can you do one in each hand? Can you do two in each hand?
Oh no, I could only do
I'm giving
one.
this 2 minutes.
Can you do one in each hand? Camera down. This is the challenge. Crack and open one-handed.
Ooh, this is gonna
What?
go
Well,
badly.
why can't you just go in this bowl with already the eggs?
Oh, because I thought we were competing.
No, I was gonna get you to just go. No, that's not at the same time. This is
Oh.
definitely different time.
Oh no, I'm just.
Good.
I used to be able to do 4.
What I've done there
damn.
is I've got. You know how people
Save it, and put it in my brownie when it comes out of the microwave.
Oh, this is your brownie now, is
is
it?
now.
You've claimed
For
my.
the purposes of that one sentence, yes, it is. What was the? Is Jake just showing? Are you cracking 4 eggs at once?
Please send your complaints to @egym on Twitter.
Yes, he got it wrong.
can't
Send
do
it to
it.
the.
Oh,
I think
I
it's
can't
like
do it
a. It's like a fitness company.
Oh, really?
Send it to them.
Send it to
Complain to them.
At eGym on Twitter.
A fitness company.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely do two.
No gank in the chat says this isn't a cooking show. I don't know what to tell you.
Sorry, how dare you? How dare you sit there, you keyboard warriors out there saying this isn't a cooking show? We're making a brownie, all right? I don't know.
How long has that been in there?
Oh my
Hey, malto brownie.
Steaming pile of brownie. All right, Benji,
Please.
Can
I'll
I try it?
give a
I
bit
wanna-
of a sprinkle first.
give it a dust.
Ah,
Is that thing with flour?
That's a crispy top.
yeah, that's like a thing.
no,
I'm
icing
actually
sugar,
excited.
not flour.
Oh, it's icing sugar.
I mean, traditionally it's icing sugar.
He's right.
We're out
He's
here
right.
changing the brownie meta, though. Do you know what I mean? Everyone
Okay.
else is doing icing sugar. We're going with dusting with flour.
We don't have any clean forks,
Are you
so I'll
sure
give you
it's not
chopsticks.
flour?
I've got a knife.
I mean,
Dealer's
Yeah,
choice.
This is the Master Yi 80 carry of cooking meta.
Do you want to take this over,
Yeah,
Benji?
alright,
Careful,
yes.
the mug is extremely hot because it was on for. I think it actually cooked for about 4 minutes. Okay. I'm just gonna break this off.
hey, can you bring 2 spoons? I'm excited.
Chopsticks and knife is what you've got.
Okay, sure.
I think this was a wild success.
I don't.
Why do you have rice and vegetable on the table for a brownie? Spinono obviously turned up late. We did entree, main, and dessert. We're up to dessert now. Jake made a beautiful fried rice and mac and cheese, and Bryce made kind of wet toast that was supposed to be French toast, and he really screwed up his crispy sweet potato chips.
We call it Australian toast.
Australian toast.
Yeah.
No, Australia is dry.
Gentlemen, from the chef, my brownie.
Thank you.
Okay, that looks so much worse.
This looks so.
Give me
Okay,
a-
you guys can't
no,
see
give
this.
me a
'Cause Use a
chopstick.
knife. I want the chopstick.
No,
Use a knife.
no. Give me one chopstick. We can each have one.
So this thing is not a brownie. It's mush. That is liquid.
reckon
I don't know
it'll
if you can
taste-
see that, but that is just
I reckon
dripping.
it'll taste good. Though. Hold on, we need
It's
some
not
of this.
cooked.
It is not dripping. He literally held it up.
He held it
and
up
said,
on a
"This is
chopstick.
liquid."
On
One
a
of the-
single chopstick.
Yeah, one of the things about liquid is it has to be in a molecular form that is fluid.
Take
and
it.
it will run off something.
Take that
that
science.
is
That is definitely not the case.
that is the worst baked good I've had in my life.
It wasn't baked, it was microwave.
I just loved it.
Technicality.
Do you
Oh
like it?
yeah, I
That is
love it.
terrible. How'd you like that?
No, it's so good.
What does it actually taste like?
Have it
like
all.
No, it's mega butthole.
Holy cow! And it's like so. There's a
It
thing is, there's initial taste that's like, oh, this is, and then it just hits you. It's like, oh god, I want to throw up. And then the aftertaste is worse than that taste.
Okay, the worst thing is the texture. It's slightly too slimy, and then the sprinkles are slightly too crunchy.
The only
so it's like
it's easy to describe this thing about what it does well, and the color is kind of like a chocolate. I mean, approximately. That's the only thing I'll say good about it.
but, like I could eat it though. You know what I mean? Like it's bad.
would, you
It's
would.
bad.
Can I
but
just
like,
say? Can I just say? Continuing the trend, which you weren't here for yesterday, but Bryce's life is a dumpster fire that is rapidly going downhill at the moment. And the fact
Why are
that
you
you're
eting
like,
more?
Here's the reason it's terrible,
hungry.
but I'll eat it.
I'm hungry.
His phone's out of charge. He's sleeping above a pub. He doesn't have a home to live in. His
Okay.
life is falling apart.
This needs to go on social media as far as like.
People are tweeting complaints at him.
I'll tweet about this at some point, like this photo, because you seeing it through the camera, I can kind of see what it does not do it justice.
All right. Well,
This is-
something that will be done justice is the final game of the day. It is Order versus Avant. Order, something to prove heading into today.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, terrible game from Order yesterday. Direwolves ran over the top of them. However, now with starting jungler Spooks back in the lineup, going up against the Avant roster that we haven't seen yet, should be an interesting game.
Should be an interesting game indeed. I'm excited to see who Avant bring to the table. I feel like Rusty potentially showed his hand on Twitter, but we'll be heading over to the McDonald's chance late and some very sick brownie boys right now.
It cream mouth, baby.
Just don't cut away, make him keep going.
I didn't need that in my life. That's sure,
Boy.
sure.
Jake is having very much fun about that. Anyway, we're jumping on our last game of the day. I actually put a photo of that up on Twitter, so if you want to have a look at it, jump on there and find it. I'm sure someone will retweet it. Last game of the day, Order versus Avant. Now, there's a few things about this I want to talk about. The first one is new lineup for Avant. We
Yes.
haven't seen it yet. And the second one is Order back to their starting jungler.
Yeah, because interesting, right? We'll start with Order on the blue side. I thought their sub coming in Sully, 6-man, actually had a pretty good performance that game. Karthus was like up a couple of levels, was CS in like Karthus territory, right? He just puts the jungle on farm and had a good game. Order, although, did not have a good game. That was a definitely a roughie. On the other side of the coin, though, AV, new and old. They've got their old bottom lane back from the competitive ruling. So the first time this split, we will be seeing Gunkrab and Aladoric. And we've seen Miru before, but we haven't seen him in his home in the jungle. So kind of his real debut, if you will.
Absolutely. Anyway, Aladoric Gunkrab. So the thing about Avant, I will say, is that for running 2 substitutes in the previous games, they have done astonishingly well. They are 2-1. Now, if I were a team and I lost 2 of my starting players, had to bring in a sub just before the split started. Actually, I don't know how much training they've had. I don't expect to win those games. I think Rusty spoke about it as well, about any wins you get are a blessing. They're actually positive win rate right now, and that is with the second-tier roster. Now with their starters, it makes me wonder how strong this team is.
Yeah, you can look at the scoreboard underneath both teams. They have more wins than Order. And that's 3 games, the entirety of them so far without their main lineup. We are through all of the bans. Sejuani did hit the bench, which is paired with something like the Aurelia, but she's still up and available, so priority still super high, and Order's going to lock that one in for themselves.
Absolutely. So Aurelia being the story of the day. It did pass through, I think, the first or the second game pick ban, but the last 2 games, it's been a priority by Order and also by Mammoth. Now, that is obviously important. And Silas, another important champion picked up by the Avant lineup. We'll find out where that goes as well.
Yeah, and it is curious that the Sejuani was banned away from Miru as well, given that Sybil has been playing the last couple of games. Olaf is another big jungler on the patch, and Spook's coming in. We saw yesterday was the Karthus from Sully. I expect him to shy away from that sort of style and more back towards the traditional junglers. Has played a bunch of Olaf during his time, but this is a very strong first rotation here from AV. A couple of the power picks getting through. We still do have access to Yuumi if we want to go for that. If this is an Ezreal, you could very easily pair that with the cat in the book in the bottom side.
Absolutely. We've seen Olaf hit the bench a few times today, but it's the first time we're going to sit on the Rift, so we'll be excited to see how that does early. We've seen a little bit of Olaf yesterday. I think we saw 1 game from it, and it did all right.
Yeah, when you remove something like the Sejuani, like Olaf can put his jungle on farm, and then like she doesn't really do a lot to the Olaf early, right? You hit the Ragnarok level 6 mark, and she's just not that useful. So she gets banned away, but then you have the next kind of tier of junglers. You have the Rek'Sais, the Lee Sins, Elise, if you will, and Jarvan is kind of the other big one, I think, so far. But Olaf does have a much better time, and given that Order did not take a jungler at all, do have a lot of options still left open, but Yuumi locked in for Order.
It's Sona for Avant. So we've gone for a bit more of the slow sort of poke healy supports, not so much that hard engage stuff. More of the, actually, you know what? Yuumi and Sona, when you look at their kits, a lot of similarities. Crescendo and Yuumi's all work kind of not the same way, but you know.
I mean, on release, Yuumi was just touted as budget Sona. It was crappy Sona. She gets a hot fix, and all of a sudden she's like, yeah, okay, I'm good Sona. That you can actually play in the support role. I will say, not necessarily the support, right? We see actually Sona more often in the AD carry's hands, so Gunkrab could be picking this one up here today. Tarek was, of course, banned away to remove the combo that worked so well for Mammoth last game. Order don't want a piece of that, and that ban just straight up makes sense here. Yeah,
that makes sense to why I see a lot of Sonas come through in like the second pick, because you want to get that Tarek. You don't want to make the other team pick it at a suboptimal support, or you want to be able to pick it together. By picking it third here, you've given your opponents a chance just to knock out a very obvious pick in that second ban phase. Jarvan, Jace, and Jax are the other champions to the bench.
Which they're obviously prepared for, right? You don't lock in Sona there and be like, guys, I really hope they don't ban Tarek, right? That's some god-awful OPL prep if that is the case. They definitely have something else up their sleeve.
Is there anything else you can run next to Sona AD carry?
Lots of things. Like, you can kind of run whatever. If she can be played with the Tareks, with the Tahm, Kench is probably the other big one, if you want, but lock in something like the Galio. You just want something big, beefy to get you through your very weak early game, and then you just become a powerhouse. Yes, your comp will lack the traditional AD carry, right? You're not going to have a sustained physical damage, source of damage, like as you trend in later to the game, but you have the burst, you have the healing, you have all these buttons like Galio, like Silas that can make things happen. And honestly, on this patch, like, games shouldn't be going that long. The international average of game time is incredibly low, something in the 24-minute mark realm.
Absolutely.
So scaling, not really something you're worried about.
Dream locking in Kennen, most likely for Tally in the top lane. And Jake going to be picking up the final champion for Order. They are looking for, right now, a jungler, actually.
Yeah. Trundle would be interesting.
Skarner.
be annoying for an Olaf, but yes, it will be the Skarner. A couple of targets to pick on already. The hands of Spooks, but this is a bunch of buttons to buff up that Skarner already. Yuumi being locked in, and I really do like this combination. You can kind of like buffer your ulti time on Yuumi with the Impale from Skarner. So you latch on top of him, you give him the E so he gets the zoom ease, he gets the move speed buff, and he's going to be running stuff like the Predator if he wants, much less likely recently, I think, but we'll go towards like the Glory and stuff like that. So he maybe pops a Predator, pops a Glory, gets the zoomies, gets a target, and then you get all 3 waves during the CC. This is a lot of pick potential here for Order.
Yeah, one thing I do want to point out, though, is we had the Sylas pick early. In that second phase, it picked up Kennen and Skarner. Now, if you're a Sylas, you're looking at those 2 champions going, those are 2 damn nice ults to steal right there.
Yeah, Kennen, incredibly good, kind of similar to Nico, and we've seen how potent that can be in the OPL so far as well. Shock is going to get his hands on the Cassiopeia once again. Played it earlier this split in the bottom lane. I expect given the Ignite picked up for him and TP for Gunkrab means that there won't be any sort of roster shuffling shenanigans here for AV. This is going to be the lanes we're going to get. The Cassio into the Aurelia can play much more of a defensive side.
Yeah. Well, that's how McDonald's champions select. Now we're going to jump onto the Rift and see how this plays out. Picking champions and matchups is important, but also how you take that onto the Rift and the strategies you employ there matter too. Matchups are good, but we need to see how this early game pans out. There's going to be a bit of back and forth here. The Olaf we're going to watch. Can he make early impact? If you hit an axe on someone early and they're not near a turret, you can run them down, Bryce.
Yeah, and this is strikingly similar to last game, in that you look at Order's comp, they have a Skarner, Kennen, Aurelia, Yuumi to buff those guys up, and they want to be making things happen. And then as this draft progressed here for AV, yes, they just took a bunch of power picks. They took the Sylas and the Olaf, but as you kind of trickle down the roster, it gets more and more defensive. They want time for the Sona. They have a Galio that isn't paired with the likes of a Jarvan or a Camille to dive the enemy backline. He's probably going to be playing it much more defensively than you would normally expect in any of the combos. And if you're running into a team, a Cassiopeia is always scary here. So kind of a sword and shield scenario here for the last game of the day.
Absolutely. We're on our last game of the day, last game of week 2. Order versus Avant. Now, after this game, a little bit later tonight, straight after the broadcast, we're going to be doing NPL. We're playing some ARAMs on the Yoast server. So stick around. We're going to announce the password and the lobby name once we are all set up there. It shouldn't be too long after this last game. So if you want to play some ARAMs with us tonight, stick around.
What's the bet the password is Brownie?
Well, it won't be now because you said it.
Maybe.
There you go.
Maybe production's all about fun. But level 1, both of these teams on opposite sides of the map.
There's something happening here.
Yeah.
Avant are sort of, they're backing out. I think maybe they were waiting for like a
Yeah,
step
they
forward.
were looking for a read and order, taking a look at their level 1s. Previously, they're like, okay, maybe they have a propensity to force for this bottom side bush. Of course, the Skarner Spires make it
like a
more
little
interesting
base.
level 1. Yeah, it's
Well,
like
I wanna go
everybody,
and grab that.
everybody wants them. The Skarner team wants them for themselves. The other team wants to deny them. So looking for an invade that did not come, so everything does just back away. The interesting point for me here is actually Dream taking the cleanse. Afraid of the early Galio taunts. Maybe you hit level 6 against a Sona Galio and there's nothing you can do about that CC if you do have the teleport. So this is going to be Yuumi paired with an AD carry that doesn't take TP, which is somewhat interesting here. Leash will come out for the jungler on Order's side though, whereas the Sona Galio definitely did start in lane.
Yep, looking to deny some of that, get the position already. But Dream arrives, some time, pick up all the CS. Let's see how this lane pans out here. Bit of poke back and forward by both these teams with Sona, as well as the Yuumi. The mid lane's going to be an interesting one as well. It's going to be a bit of back and forth there. We've got a melee champ versus a ranged one. These are always very interesting matchups to me, Bryce.
Yeah, certainly is the case, and I think a lot of the pressure will come down to top side this game, right? The matchup at the mid lane, you mentioned, volatile. Top lane can be as well, but you can see already from the junglers starting on the bottom side, they want to be tracking up here early. Tally gets a very nice trade, level 2 to level 1, just pushing in chippies as best as possible means that Miro is now coming up, looking to potentially defend top side of the map. Spooks taking a little bit of a longer time to clear his bottom side jungle. You do somewhat expect that, given the Olaf, the ability to get a blue buff and just spam axes all over the place.
Absolutely. We're going to clear through here. Skarner is sort of mirroring and shadowing him on the other side of the map. We'll see if they're going to make some plays towards maybe this top lane. It is pushed quite far forward here from the Order side. So if you're currently Mirror, you're looking at this going, maybe a potential play here. And if you're looking at this from Spook's perspective, you're like, maybe there's a potential play here. I've got to get up here and save Tally's ass.
Yeah, Chippies has got the lane ward, or the river ward rather, that I think will be dying fairly soon, but given that neither jungler has spotted each other recently, but the paths can definitely be predicted. Of course, the leash was there from Spooks, so AV know exactly that Spooks is top side, and
Oh, hits a CC,
Yeah.
but no follow-up.
now on Vision, neither jungler really wants to commit to this sort of play. Spooks doesn't want to show, that's why he's hanging around the wall, and Miru, yes, he landed the axe, but he's like, look, if I commit, I know Spooks will be here.
Oh.
Swifter is low, though.
Yeah, Melee Champ took the exhaust though, has eaten the summoner spell, has popped the flash and response here. They're rotating down this river now. Swiffer's caught out. He's low. He can't really join this very easily. He's going to get, wow, pinced it in. In fact, he's going to get taken out. Yes, he does. First blood goes across to Olaf, and he's return killed here by the Skarner.
Yeah, in order, they think they can take the fight. Swiffer maybe just a little bit too low. Already burnt the flash in the mid lane. Chippies was in base. Tally had forced the reset there, and they're like, look, ultimately this will come down to a 3 versus 2 whilst the Crab is still alive, but unfortunately for Order, Miro picks up the Crab. He gets the first blood as well, even though it was traded back. Advantage definitely over to AV.
Absolutely. The teleport was popped top by Chippy. So Tally in this lane right now, CS-wise, he's got a bit of a lead. He's ranged, you know, versus melee. But he has a teleport advantage, right? If he can force Chippies out, he can return to lane with a bit of CS advantage.
Yeah, the worst thing for that, though, is for the mid lane of Order. Aurelia going back, buying a not a Fairy Charm, a Rejuve Bead and a Pink Ward is...
That's not a good buy.
Yeah, he's got himself a Doran's Blade as well, but certainly not the start you would have liked to see. Shock goes back, picks himself up a tier. So from this point outwards, now that he has the flash, and Swiffer's Flash and Ignite is down, has that little bit of extra safety, and he can get through kind of the early laning phase and start stacking this one up.
And buying when you're
feels nice.
low on gold, when you're a tier user, it's fantastic. You want to buy that tier, get back to lane as soon as possible. And when you get that natural reset, it means the Aurelia is not getting any advantage out of that.
Yeah, like a purchase of maybe tier 2 boots if you wanted it, but you can go like Phage, you can go Tiamat for the Aurelia. Those big spikes are definitely useful. Here they go, though. This is the combination. Jake locks onto Spooks and
That is a quick
zooms
Skarner.
up the river. Yeah, that's a
Speedy boy.
zooming.
We'll see more of that later, I think, especially once Spooks hits level 6. Chippy's jumping on Tally here. Does a bit of poke, but he's going to take a little bit back. Actually, he's doing a pretty good trade there, Chippies. Turning around some of those earlier ones. Tally forced back to his wave. Now keep him on the junglers now, hit level 5. Yep.
Yeah, but Tally is in a very good position, though, right? You look at this wave, it is pushing in. Neither jungler is on top side, so no real gank threat, but he's maintained his teleport. He walked back to base and is building towards his Proto Belt with a Kindle Gem there. So he has a buy over Chippies as well as still having that advantage. You mentioned the junglers just briefly as well. Infernal Dragon has been spawned on the bottom side, and they are sort of posturing around. Swiffer looked for a trade. If he goes back in, he could be in danger here from
There's
Miru.
absolutely a bait. Miru's hanging around here. The Olaf in the bot lane, though. We've got to fight. Dream takes a lot of damage back. Go back away. Gun Crab took us much as well.
And Swiffer, though, actually goes in for this one. Miru wanted the play. Not
Just
able
pushed
to
it off.
find
Looked like nothing much. Like Swiffer went in and just got pushed away. Skarner is shadowing down here on the bottom right. He's going to come up and enter the jungle area. I'm not sure if he's looking for something here with Swiffer.
Are they actually going to start this one? Yes, they burnt the cleanse in the bottom lane, but they were able to push that lane in. Sona early, not the best skirmisher as well, but it looks like
that will
AV, a
spot
lot
this.
of pings on the way.
They will see it. It's on half health. Now, there's 4 people here. They can't fight this yet, but looks like they're going to force Order off it. See if this is a fight.
Oh.
Ooh, Shock's caught out. If I can still be very careful.
Swiffer wants
Getting
in.
jumped on. All goes down. Does miss because of the flash. Inferno Dragon's still the objective to play. There are 4
Yeah.
people here. You can kind of see Yuumi attached to Dream now as they move forward. Looks like this is going to be secured by Order if it doesn't reset. And it is resetting. That's actually going to take a little time here. But Tally's made his way down. He's teleported down to this fight. They take it. Chippies is going to stay top lane here.
And that was the clincher there from AV. Tally expends his teleport, so they're like, look, give it up. We can't fight anymore. We can't get down here. It would be a 4 versus 5. And yes, a couple of summoners traded all over the place. Swiffer did find his way to the 1v1, and you saw Shock had to respect it. Yes, Swiffer has been ganked. He's died already, but he is still Aurelia in the early game and hit that level 6 mark. Flash from the Cassio gets him out of the ulti to safety very nicely, but it did mean that the Infernal Drake goes the way of blue side once again, and everybody just kind of tracking back towards their lanes now.
Yep, the real winner there was, I think, on the side of Avant was Chippies. He got to stay in the top lane a bit there. His teleport, he used it earlier, but if you look at these timers, they're now completely desynced. His is going to come up a lot before Tally's is, and there's potential for him to make a play around that when that comes off cooldown.
Yeah, it allows him to push his wave in as well. Like, he catches up in CS, but gets that purchase that he really needs. He goes back, gets the Merc Treads and Amp Tome. Doesn't mean all that much, but is kind of relishing in the 1v0 sort of timeline he had for a couple of seconds there. A lot of tears in this game. Sona picked up hers as the Casio, the Ezreal. Everybody jumping on the bandwagon, so a lot of abilities going to be flying out all over the place as everyone wants to stack those up.
Both teams going to take this slow. With Tears, you don't want to rush through it. You want to get those items, Tears stacked up, but we'll have to wait and see how this plays out, of course. This bot lane here from AV has been doing very solid. CS-wise, they're sort of keeping mark here with Ezreal, considering they haven't really got that big AD that helps secure that last hits.
Yeah, and the bottom lanes kind of do similar-ish things. When you blind pick the Ezreal Yuumi, it's just a very strong combination. But the Sona isn't going to be picked to punish that. If you want to punish like a Yuumi lane, maybe you're locking in a Nautilus and you have an Olaf, a tempo jungler that you can lock them down and get him access to the lane. AV here with the Sona are much more in the, we can just take the lane. Yes, like we'll be very fine dealing with the poke that she can push out. It's very obnoxious to deal with. Much like a Zyra, there's not a lot you can do to stop Yuumi hitting you in the face constantly. So when you get to pick up a champion with sustain, it makes the laning phase all that much easier.
Absolutely. Just saw Silas grab that Skarner. Did not want to pass up that opportunity. We see Avant here rotating into this jungle division. They find Swiffer. There's 2 players here, and Silas is rotating as well. They're looking for this blue buff. They could get Pinsett here, but Kennen not leaving the top lane. They can clear this out fast enough. They'll get a nice little advantage here from this blue buff.
You can see the call there from Tally. Wants to push out his wave that was kind of stacking underneath this turret, and given that the bot lane priority was in the hands of AV, it's something that... Oh, actually, what the hell?
Wow, Aladoric has caught no man's land here. He's got to be careful. He's getting flash ulted on. There's no one here to help him. TPs are coming through. He's going to flash out. He tried to dash. He couldn't get it, and there's a kill for Swiffer.
Okay, just goes for a cheeky wander up the river and finds a Skarner, finds an Aurelia. That is not the place you want to be. Aladoric, unfortunately, burns his flash and his heal off the end of that trade once again. AV looking to get something on the other side of the map. They see Order all down there and had the vision control already.
Shots caught out as well. Swiffer's coming in as well. Looking to turn around. The ult does not hit. It slows. Yuumi coming in trying to CC. Are they going to turn it around? No, they're just backing out here. Sona does get stunned as well. But the Rift Herald's still going.
Yeah, Miro just able to solo that one out. The fight kind of eventuated as just a distraction there. Shock didn't have the flash, so luckily he had his Sona to boot, was able to kind of get him out of that little situation there. AV still looking to pressure towards the top side. Keep in mind, Spooks doesn't have Impale, so no ability to fight this one.
Yep.
AV still looking to force here.
Super Jake coming over. Oh, they're trying to turn this around, but there's a number disadvantage. Here comes Galio to clean up that kill, and that's a kill on Skarner.
Yeah, this time Aladoric in the right situation lands with the ulti and Spooks goes down. No summoners, no ulti, no fight to be. And it is dead to rights. This has left a lot of time at the bottom side for Dream to be able to push in, building a little bit of a CS lead over his counterparts here now. Gunkrab, of course, was at the earlier fight, walked down here, but Dream now running out of mana, just pushing this one in and maybe looking for a bit of a reset soon. Yeah,
something about Dream you've got to keep in mind is that from what we saw in the Gauntlet run last split is he can sometimes be a bit of a ticking time bomb. If you leave him alone too long, he might blow up in this game and really take control.
Yeah. Also a super aggressive AD carry, and not just in the laning phase, right? He's happy to take fights on very early, but once you get to late game, he is very happy to look for those frontline plays. Buys himself a defensive tool, maybe a QSS, and absolutely goes for the outplay as the game goes onwards. An exciting player to watch. But next Dragon spawning in 15 seconds back to the game. First items are starting to be completed. Cheap one in the hands of Tally. Got himself the Proto Belt.
Absolutely. Ocean Dragon coming up is the one. Is that a big priority right now? It's just a nice objective to take.
It's just the only one on the map. Right?
Yeah,
like, nobody's going to
something.
be, like, I don't know, like, screaming to take down the Ocean Dragon. It does kind of eventuate as, like, who wants to go for it. Is it worth a response? Is it worth a trade on the other side?
Would you trade it for a turret?
Probably not.
Yeah.
I feel like
tempo down there, basically.
When you look at like competitive League of Legends, like, especially in a game that's even, like the team that's making the first move wants just to like start something off, and then when you're playing ahead of the tempo, it's not just like the 1-for-1 trade. You don't want to trade like Dragon for a turret, a Dragon for plates. You want to win the long game. If you go down the rabbit hole of whatever that is, you want to just keep having the upper hand there. And
we've got a bit of a rotate here. 4 people coming top lane. There are 2 here. Now keep in mind that right now, Chippies has got the ultimate of Tally, so there's a Cannon ult.
Yeah.
Rift Herald bot here. There's a really hard way to engage on top of that Silas, but also Tally's got a good engage too. Gonna try and do some damage to this Rift Herald, but it's gonna get its charge off. And so this is gonna be probably the first turret of this game going down here for AV.
Yeah, very nice usage there. Rift Herald would have been timing out fairly soon, the next minute or so, and they're able to crash that one into Chippy's lane before 14 minutes falls off. So plating gold is picked up, shared by a couple of members there. Aladoric is a pretty rich Galio, given that he has the Sona as his AD carry, so certainly finished his Merc trade. He's got his stopwatch working on his first item long before Yuumi, but I guess she doesn't have to pay the boots price, right? She gets carried around by the rest of her teammates, and it's about 1,000 gold in the bank when you look at an endgame build.
Yep, this is the free dragon for Order. That's the consolation objective after losing their top lane turret. See in the mid lane here, players are going back. This is sort of the big turret you want to get. We've talked about this in many of our games today. But I think the one thing from Order's perspective is right now they're just straight down a turret, and they're down about 1.5 thousand golds. They need to find a way to sort of maybe close that gap a little bit with an objective of their own.
Yeah, like the early skirmish, Spooks died earlier, not the best, and the gold lead really does come from the plates that were taken down, the difference in first brick as well. Sorry, in first blood, when they've traded the kills. The kills are of course even, but AV have more of that. So not the biggest lead to speak of, 1,000 there for AV, kind of trickling upwards as the game goes on.
What do you value Inferno at?
Like gold-wise?
Yeah.
Literally no clue.
No clue.
I've never been like a...
This is worth X, this is
Yeah,
worth X.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm always a field player. I feel like a lot of pros are, actually. It's really funny. You speak to like analysts, coaches, whatever, like the behind the scenes, the theory of the game. And then you talk to a pro player and he's like, I don't know, man, I just win that matchup. Like, it just feels good.
Yep.
Yeah, and it comes down, like, execution can make up for, like, if you have an inefficient build, like, versus your opponent or something, and the inefficiency is, like, an arbitrary number, like 8%, if you just make a better decision, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people...
It's worth more than the build.
Yeah, I just, like, execution trumps everything, and I feel like a lot of players kind of do put themselves into that camp, and that's the way they like to view the game. Order are clumping up mid lane, though, which does leave Swiffer in a 1v2, losing his turret, and... If they can get a trade mid, it could be worth.
There's 3 people rotating mid. They might not just get this turret. Order have just sacked this turret here. This is the counter they're looking for here mid. Gunkrab is here. Aladoric is here. And on the bottom side, Chippies is nearby.
Yeah.
Looks like Order just lost the turret for nothing.
Yeah, they were looking for an opportunity. They can get a catch with Spooks having Flash. He has the Predator. He has the Zoomies from Yuumi. And it's very easy to lock down a target with all of those move speed buffs. So they brought Telly over. Tried to find it, but a nice set of defensive play there from AV. They kind of see him missing from top side, and it's like, hey, we're getting a free turret. Something has to be up. Where is the cannon? They make the read. They hover the right side of the map, and once again, advantage kind of just trickling over to AV. Another turret in the bank. Broken both side lanes, whereas Order not broken anything just as of yet.
Yep, just some poke coming down mid, forcing Gunkrab back, but really, they're starting to rotate. In fact, Tally and Spooks are here. They're not looking for Aladoric. Chippies is here. They've taken the Ezreal ult. That's the next one that Chippies has got now. So we'll see if he fires that one off quickly, maybe, or if he wants to save it for a team fight.
Yeah, super value ultimate. Scales with his AP and can do a boatload of damage for the Silas. And nowadays, 2019 does a boatload of damage for the Ezreal with the Ludens, with the Sork Boots builds. Kind of all over
builds,
the place, yeah. Take you off guard every now and again, but now it's AV's turn to roll into the mid lane. Ward's being cleared out, but...
Yep, this is standard 1-3-1 here by AV. Got Cass in the top, Silas in the bot. The remainder of the team in the middle here pushing. They're just farming up for now. Objective-wise, next one coming up is the Windrake in 2 minutes. All the buffs, of course. Oh, this is scary here, actually. Was a flash ult coming off, but... Of course, Spooks didn't really know where the rest of AV was, so they sort of ducked into that river.
Yeah, it's also the QSS now picked up by Shock. Yes, Cassio doesn't get value. She can't really upgrade it into a Mercurial, but all of a sudden, Spooks has one less target to go for realistically. They would need extra CC to follow that one up if they were to commit to Shock, and makes his life a little bit easier. There you go.
Dream getting chunked out there.
That's a jackpot.
That's Chippy's firing that all off. Looking for the next one. The big value ones are the Tally and the Skarner and the Cannon ults. That's the big impact ones for me.
Yeah.
The other ones aren't bad. Maybe Yumi's is okay.
Yeah, you don't really want something with a delay like Yumi's ulti. You'd much prefer something like Cannon, because for the Silas, like, you get into the backline and then you want CC, you want that damage, you want the lockdown. You really do get only a couple of moments there before Ezreal's dashing away, Yuumi jumps to someone else, Swiffer can dash away. There's all of these things that can happen there, so it is kind of interesting. It's take a look at these two comps kind of trending into mid-game. Team fights are going to be won very quickly. If Silas gets his hands on, hold this,
Gunkrab is caught. He is flash ulted, and he gets blown up. He is dead.
Yeah, Tally throws a Q into Narnia, but it absolutely does not matter. Order spent a lot of time around the mid lane looking for that pick. They will finally find it, and AV are off the map. So this could be the turret that they've been searching for finally going down. No plating to B, so it is fairly squishy, but...
No cannon, so if they can clear the minions, they might buy themselves some time to react to this. Shock taking a ton of poke on the backside. Dream is doing a lot this early in the game.
Yeah, huge amount of damage. When you pair the Yuumi with the Ezreal, if Yuumi lands the Q, it's so easy to follow that one up, and you see exactly that happening right there. Sona, now Respawn does have TP, but this could be another fight opening up. Dragon spawning in 10 seconds. Options here for Order if they do still want to contest.
The Order are down at the Dragon. The Skarner and the Aurelia are sitting there waiting for it to spawn. This is a 3v4 in the mid, actually. AV have the numbers advantage. They can get an engage, they can turn it around, but you don't know what you can't see. This Dragon will be taken by Order. That is the objective they're looking at. Ooh,
This is a fight, though.
Aladoric coming. Looks like they will take it, and they're going to fly. Oh, they get the taunt. They're going to react as well. There's the follow-up from Chippies, and Spooks dies for the Dragon.
It ends up being the Skarner for Dragon trade, an age-old classic there.
Yeah, it looks like damage coming down. Ooh, Shock had to pop his... is that Barry? That was Sarafsing.
That was the Fatty Serac shield, and
Yeah.
eats all of that damage there. But you see the potency of that combo. Whether it's the QWE from Ezreal, lands an ulti, just so many tools available. I was going to say, like, take a bigger picture look at these comps, right?
Yeah.
The pressure really was on Order to make things happen. They picked the Skarner, the Yuumi, the Kennen. They want to get these fights rolling, and AV have done fairly well. They're leading the early game with a 2K advantage right now. I'll hold the thought.
Dream is getting caught out. Yuumi ult coming down. Is the Cannon ult on Chippies, not the Skarner one. That was the scary one. Flash Skarner ult onto Dream.
Yeah.
Probably end up with 2 kills because Yumi's kind of stuck there as well.
Yeah, could be the case. But to continue, right, like AV have ended the early game fairly well. They don't have an Infernal Dragon, but they have the gold lead there, getting towards their item spikes. And I say item spikes because it's super important for Order. Now you have an Aurelia with Triforce. Kennon's had his for a while.
We've got to
The
rotate
Glory
here, actually.
approaching.
2 players here. Tower was taken on the bot side.
Okay.
Ult was not hit, though, so Tally gets away with his life.
Certainly does. Has to use his flash. Traded for the ulti there. Order still trying to break this turret. I feel like this is going to be the time now.
Yeah, they're going to get it there. So that rotate to top 4 Avant has cost them the middle turret. That top turret did go down from the minions, so all's left standing from the outers for Order is the bot side, and for Avant is the mid lane outer, so turrets are even.
And you might take a look at like why they've been spending so many resources to break that. And if you can play as Order, like around the jungle, if you can find walls for Skarner to sit behind and you can look for picks much easier in the jungle, breaking that mid turret just really opens up the map. So now that they've done it, they can start deploying, looking more aggressively for the fights they want. We've brought the gold up on your screen right now. Ezreal, of course, has a significant lead, does have the Klepto in his back pocket, is the only AD carry to do that one.
They're not that far ahead, though. 'Cause
Yeah.
if you add together Galio Sona, it's around, what's that, like 12k? And Ezreal plus Yuumi is also around 12k. So it's a few hundred gold lead. It's just the gold is more distributed on the Ezreal rather than split amongst 2 people.
Yeah, and that's what this does, right? Like you share the gold, the Relic Shield stacks coming out very early for the Galio. And that is certainly the case here. You see 20 minutes now, and as I was saying, Order have hit their item spikes, immediately posturing significantly more aggressively towards topside. Tally has TP, but he's just walking to the play, wanting to shepherd his team into the pit, and they do kind of have complete vision control around the Baron. AV have deeper wards they can TP to and look for a flank and see Order once they do back away, but...
Order are making all the proactive plays right now. Doesn't mean that Avant can't turn one of these around, but they've got to look for their moment. Order are taking control of this top side of the map. Aurelia is pushing in that top turret there. And on the bot side, we have Silas pushing down here. It's basically we split the map from left to right here, with these turrets going down, of course. The mid lane turret, though, allows Order to venture so much further forward than Avant can.
And it's so easy to get mid priority when you have that turret advantage in mid lane. You have something to fall back on, and the wave just kind of naturally bounces here. You can see the top laners, as soon as they clear their respective waves, just immediately walking to the fight. AV, if nothing happens right now, they're fairly happy, right? They don't want Order starting up the Baron. They don't want them forcing that fight with a Kennen flank or anything like that. They're happy to let the Sona scale up, the Cassio scale up. Silas can do exactly the same thing here.
Oh, they're going in the mid lane there, but once again, Dream gets out. True Shot Barrage comes through, clips the Sona. Dream is Ezreal is not the champion you really want to be trying to pick up here. If they go to the side lane and try and catch someone out like this, as they do that, you can see they're rotating up. Look at 5 members strong.
Mega caught. The Galio ulti will get the support in very quickly if he needs it. Ulti does land onto Shock.
Absolutely, but there are 4 people here. Ult goes wide, but at this point, they just need to make the CC happen. They throw a lot at Swiffer. They need to pick him up quickly because in the mid lane, Order are reacting by taking this down. The bot lane, they're taking the turret as well.
Yeah, they're looking for the double push on the other side of the map, but you can see immediately after the pick, the pings went onto the Baron buff. Order do have vision and they know what's up, so the immediate collapse is here.
There is a team fight going here. Tally has got TP. He can join this fight. He's in the base right now. There's the TP behind the Baron pit right now. Baron is on half. They're going to turn this around and fight. AV looking to engage. Now they look like they're looking to disengage. TP has been popped by Tally. They do blow that up, and they do save their bot lane turret from that as well.
Yeah, and a couple of abilities go onto the wrong targets there to force that fight to come to its full life, I guess. The Ezreal ulti hits the Galio, as did the Impale.
Oh, why are you there, Jake? He gets taken out. Immediately turned back on this Baron. I was looking at this Infernal Drake spawning, but now this is a hard target for them. Everyone is here. Aurelia is in base and doesn't have TP. This is a 3v5 for Order. Can they hold this off? Order? Oh, they do. They force them off.
And in a 3 versus 5, Ezreal Kennen is enough to dissuade. Maybe they don't have timer on Kennen's flash, and it's like, we don't want to be stuck in the pit with a slicing Maelstrom. Dream, Ezreal is the best AD carry at contesting Baron. He just flings garbage over the wall and it dishes out so much damage.
Wow, Order make a misplay, lose a player there, but end up winning by getting a turret, and they're going to pick up this Infernal Dragon as Avant are not reacting.
Yeah, the reset has to come out. 2 chunks for the Baron, 2 chunks for the Ezreal, and that's certainly a prize to be had. Double Infernals now stacked up. Dream being incredibly annoying, taking away the camps in the jungle, wanting the blue buff, but...
Did a taste of his own medicine there?
Probably going to go for the reset anyway, so it doesn't mean a lot. The deny on the blue buff is the big point there. Chippy's able to secure that for his team. Does he take it or does he leave it for Shock? It looks like...
All right, Avant going to break this mid lane turret down here. Well, Dream's actually going to try and defend it, but I don't think he can. It's a bit too... Oh, I don't know. Should kill the minion waves very quickly. He denies it for now. It's very low. See Order right here as well. Spooks is going forward. They're engaging. They got the Galio. On the backside is the Aurelia trying to find a way into this fight. But it looks like Spooks is getting killed as well. Slicing Maelstrom hits one, and it's the Zhonya's. Looks like it turns it around. Kennen's in trouble too. Tally's going to fall down as well. And that fight was a disaster for Order.
And an immediate CC lands onto Tally. Order, the proactive ones. They get the Impale once again onto Galio, but they cannot find the follow-up. Tally, no access to the backline, and you see the heals coming out of Guncribe. AV are going to do this so healthily, and once again, Order looking for a 5 versus 3 contest.
Absolutely, looks like Swiffer's there. He's caught out as well. He's taking a lot of damage as well. He's down, Jake's dead too. That's 4 from Order dead. They're turning back for this Baron. All the important people are dead, but Dream, I don't know what he can do here. There's only one man. There's only so many Qs he can throw into this pit. Looking to try and chip him away. Chippers is very healthy. He's got to avoid him. Like this Baron is going to get chipped away. It sounds like a miracle for him to do much. I think that's it. Avant are going to clean this one up for sure now. That's Baron, and that is going to be a first decisive lead for Avant in this game.
Yeah, and even despite the Galio ulti getting cancelled, AV, they just run away with the team fight. Get absolutely everything they wanted, and we're going to take another look at it. The flank is there from Swiffer, but Order, they're going onto the Galio once again. They don't have many targets to choose from, but the fight barely split. Swiffer is just in no man's land, and you see both the Crescendo and the Petrifying Gaze come out from Guncribe, from Shock to deny Tally. They notice the target. He's the only one that can lock them down, and as soon as he gets dissuaded, immediately dies out of the Zhonya's.
Absolutely. Looking at that scoreboard right now, you can see that 5,000 gold lead. With this Baron buff, we'll see what this blows out to here. Maybe it doesn't blow out to anything if Order fans want. This mid lane turret is going to go down. That's been a bit of a nuisance this game. 26 minutes in. Now what else can they do? They've got Silas pushing the bot lane.
Yeah, I feel like AV, they have stabilized, right? Like, the aim of this game was to get through the early levels, get to a point where we have our items. Now, Cassio is relatively big. Sona working on her second there, but AV have done so well to play defensive in the early game. They've come away with this lead so far. 5,000 gold is it right now, and Baron buff in their hands. All 5 members have it. You can see Chippy's looking for a split push on the bottom side. Top wave, not shoved in anytime soon. I'm curious if they care about it.
Caught out a little bit here on the top side here. Not so much, actually, no. I thought that was very close. Apologies for interrupting. But yeah, Silas pushing in the bot lane. The top lane is going to be pushing back, it looks like. against
Eventually.
Order, it's going to be a slow one. It's mid and bot, they're looking to break turrets.
Yeah, and breaking turrets is definitely difficult for this lineup. Gunkrab, he can auto it every now and again with a power chord, but doesn't do all that much damage. You can see AV really playing around chippies right now. They're not making progress in mid lane. Is much more through the bottom side. He's pushing that in, maybe looks for a rotate if they want the dive, if they want the fight, or can just straight up start whacking away at this turret. Tally, as an AP cannon, if you can't get access to the wave to E through it and look for the W.
Sono's caught out here, although does miss the ult there from Swiffer. Was trying to rotate through the jungle. Both teams have good vision in this jungle. It's a very dangerous place to be right now.
Yeah, they did get the flash out of Gunkrab there, so Summoner lost. Pick potential was there. This turret will be gone very soon as the full rotation comes from AV.
You gotta be careful when these turrets fall that you're not too close to it, because, you know, the engage from Avant could be there. Order now trying to hold the base.
They have the cannon ulti in the hands of Chippies. That was a big chunk, and remember, he cannot heal unless he actually bites someone, so needs that melee range. He's only falling lower. Gunkrab is there to kind of save the day.
Yep, lots of poke coming out from Dream and Jake here in the back line. Gonna force the Avant team off. They have Sona to heal them up, and they're relatively healthy. Like you mentioned, big ult onto Chippies right now. Can they make a play out of this?
God damn. Pushing.
Oh, wow, Dream's doing a lot here.
Pushing into Yuumi Ezreal just seems so incredibly annoying for AV. Yes, they have the Baron, but they can't make the waves crash, and they've left top this entire time. Dream still looking for this pokes. Tally actually wants it here.
Gotta be careful, Flash. Oh, they Flash short. They caught him. Can they follow up? Tally's been knocked back. There's the cannon ults from both players going out. Shut down onto Olaf. They're going to run away right now. You can see Silas rotating into the fight, but they do get away with murder there.
Yeah, cheeky little exit pick. Aladoric thought he had found access to Tally, but they're able to turn this one around.
Oh, Dream gets away from the kill. There goes the crescendo onto Spooks. So trying to disengage from this one. Trying to pick up Dream has been the goal this whole game, but he is not died yet.
Yeah, AV will going to start this one off. No jungler for 25 seconds, no smite available, but they still want the Infernal Dragon. Order want their third.
This is a bait. Spooks can smite it, but look at his health. If he steps too far forward, they can blow him up very quickly, but Dream here is the one who wins the war of attrition. That dragon is going to reset, maybe for good
Miasma
effect.
down. Tally looking for it. Aladoric charges taunt. That's the dragon.
They get the dragon there, and it's going to back away. Order are going to follow up. They ult their Sona. They blow her up, but is a return kill into Aurelia. Chippy's got it. He pulls Dream into the fight. They're going to try and follow up, but he flashes it, and Arcane shifts out. He survives, but it's a 1-for-1.
Yeah, Swiffer the only casualty from Order. They get the dragon, so 5 under their belt. Triple Infernal, and makes their team fight so incredibly strong here. Yes, Gunkrab fell down early. They want to secure that one. Next Baron in about a minute and a half, and very important here for both teams. That could be another option here for AV. First Baron wasn't able to break the base. Just taking another turret. We're going to see how this one started, and the big cooldown is Miasma. Shock already used it, and Order now finds some time. Tally just threatening. No flash to get onto the backside, but that was a big ulti. Suppression goes onto the Sona. He's locked down, and Chippies almost wants the same thing to Dream, but he has a Yuumi. He has the heals, he has the shields, he has the rest of his team there to keep him alive.
He's popped everything now. So you look at Dream's cooldowns. He hasn't got his cleanse. He hasn't got his flash anymore. Next fight, if he can land some sort of CC on him, they can blow him up. And he has been the real nuisance in these fights. I feel like if Dream dies early, this is going to be a bad fight for Order. But if they can keep him alive, they can come out with a win.
Yeah, and Order, not a single flash on their team right now. AV have a couple. Shock is still very safe. It is a 008 Cassiopeia. Hasn't died once this game. Has the QSS and his summoners available. So hard target for Spooks to get on. Now flashless on the Skarner. Still probably looking for the Sona, who is without one of her own. But AV definitely controlling top side around the Baron spawn.
They're pushing down mid here.
But
look at the base.
yeah.
They're already on the base turret here. As Order have got a minion wave as well. They're pushing this down very quickly. They're going to break the base super fast. AV caught rotating, and their base is broken.
Yeah, prioritizing the vision very early, and they will lose an inhib turret. Now Order just going to flank back to the pit. They will be able to sweep out the jungle as they go through. Red buff is a nice little prize here.
Miru looked at the smite, but couldn't quite get that.
Tried for it, an axe. Opportunistic one, won't be able to lock it down. AV still have a ton of wards behind Order, but mid lane priority is the name of the game right now.
That's the Ezreal ult stolen by Chippies. Might see that come out fairly quickly, as you can see it there. Vision, maybe a bit of poke. As you see this back and forth continue. Mid lane now
Chippies
broken. Oh,
finds
wow, they
him.
caught him. They're going to blow him up.
Oh.
Immediately, he's dead. Get him down. That's a big engage going down. Jake's kind of caught, but he jumps onto Skarner. He's going to get away, but now Avant have a clear path to Baron.
Yeah, and Tally just dead to rights. Chippies locks him down. No stopwatch and no completed Zhonya's there for the Cannon, and this could be the opportunity AV needed. Second Baron of the game.
The
They're
base
gonna
is
start
open
this one
though.
up.
If they can base race here as well if they want to. Looks like Order are going to come around. They want to stop this Baron. They have got the Skarner. They can smite this time. Skarner all grabbed by Chippies. Let's watch that in this next fight. Dream does not have his flash up yet, or his cleanse. That could be a disaster for him. Baron's
gone.
easily secured by Avant, and Order looks like they're returning to mid lane here. They get nothing out of it.
Yeah, no contest from that one. Looking at the dead cannon, they're like, we cannot win the team fight. We can't face check the Casio, can't face check the Sona there. So second Baron of the game here from AV. They weren't able to break the base last time. Can they look for it time number 2? Waves actually in very good positions. They don't need to go top to push that one in, and Chippies is already deploying bot side, so you can see maybe wanting to play all 3 of them this time.
Absolutely. The next objective coming up is in a minute 30. It is the win Drake. Not much of an objective at this point. This Baron buff is way more important for Avant, but maybe on a retreat they can sneak it away. We're going to see them push down these waves. Silas, bot, 4 players mid currently. Last time they had the Baron buff, they got 1 tower.
Yeah, and just more item spikes being hit here for AV. Shocker's had his QSS the entirety of this game, but now Gunkrab gets one of his own. Aladoric does the same, and look, you're not going to Skarner ulti in Olaf. He'll just hit that R button, and Silas is difficult to get on, to say the least. Has that Zhonya's, has that mobility.
And if he has the cannon ult, you don't want to pull him in anyway,
yeah,
right?
100%. Looks like a bad target, so Spooks. The pickings, certainly not wide here, as AV looking to pressure top side. Chippy's deployed mid lane now. They want the 2-lane push, and will find the turret.
Yep, that's a bit of free gold there. They're going to extend their lead out to 6,000 gold. One thing to keep in mind is we do not know the value of those 5 Drakes Order have already. There's a bit of
tell you
power in
they're
those
a
3
lot.
Infernos.
Yeah, if the CC lands on a target, Order can still win a fight. It's difficult to get the fight that they want, but if they do find it, Aurelia ulti, Cannon ulti, all of these things can swing very quickly. AV, they get themselves a second turret, so the complete inner ring has been broken.
That's 6 towers down. The next tower is a base turret, and once you do that, you're looking to finish the game off perhaps. Rotating down towards bot, they've prepped a wave. Isn't that very, very convenient?
Yeah, you got to hit the attack move as you walk through the wall, the bush rather, so Ward's just going to sit there, but this is the push onto the inhib. Gunkrab gets half HP, but he does have the sustain available. Will be full in no time.
Almost got baited by the Demolish proc there, Gunkrab. Sorry, Aladoric actually. They're going to do a bit of damage. Chippies is in the mid lane here. He's also chunking that turret down. Order don't respect this enough. They might lose 2 turrets. They lose the mid, and actually this is now very scary because they're moving on the inhibitor, but if they rotate up to try and defend that, they'll lose the bottom one.
And Tally just torn between the two. He wants to get the fight. Order want to start this up as soon as possible because he cannot defend Chippies on the Silas. This is
There it is. Tally goes in. Big ult hits everyone. Chippies is joining as well. There's no slicing Maelstrom. Forces Dream out of the fight. Now the retreat by Order is into a cannon ult. Jake's going to go down. Gunkrab has absolutely done wonders on this zone of this game with the healing, and we're going to move into the base here. Avant, clean up 4, only Dream survives.
And that is the fight they needed. They break the base, they break the inhib, and looking to break the Nexus. Game wide open. Another victory for AV.
Absolutely, Avant have brought back their A roster, and we can see why it's the A roster. They pick up the final win in week 2.
And just very respectful play. This is the full roster now coming here for AV. We see Miru debut on the Olaf, clapping for his teammates, and we mentioned it early, the proactivity is there from Order. They have the Skarner, they have the Yuumi, they want to find those picks, and they just gave them nothing. The gold lead in their hands at the sides of AV from very early, and it did just kind of trickle upwards. There wasn't a big moment, there wasn't a huge team fight until they just ended the game there, and yeah, that was the trajectory, and AV on the up and up.
Yeah, absolutely. And AV are a team that last split we didn't expect in split 1 to come in and make an impact, right? They ended up finishing the regular split very high, but their first few weeks especially, they're getting a lot of wins. This split, I think everyone's also looking at the Mammoths and the Bombers and the Chiefs, but this Avant lineup, they're now 3-1. They're towards the top of the table. I mean, Mammoth's still first, but they're up there as well.
Yeah, certainly. Like, they are the team that's like, we didn't go out and buy, like, the best 5 players. They're not a super team putting together, like, previous OPL winners. They have the likes of, on their old roster, they had the Sybil, been around for a very long time. They have the Shock, they have the Chippies, all of these guys in that boat, but then they have the fresh blood, Gunkrab coming through. And now Miro joins the roster in a fairly standard game. This isn't the AV playing like Urgot mid, all of this whack stuff. We don't know what they're doing. This was just standard League of Legends, and it looked pretty good.
Silas, Cassiopeia, we've seen those picks a ton before. Looking at order now, they moved to 1-3 in the league.
Yeah.
Not this, after coming second in the first split, that is not the start you want.
Absolutely not. And in their victory, it looked super promising. Like it was that hella poke comp, right? And they just played like that was a super dominant game. And unfortunately, in all of the other ones, not able to pick up the victories there. Like nobody wants to start the season 1-3. Absolutely not.
Absolutely. One final thing for you. Looking forward into week 3, which are your top teams that you think we should keep an eye on?
I think Mammoth Chiefs. Still Mammoth
top
Chiefs.
2?
Yeah. Certainly
Okay.
the case.
Very exciting. Well, I'm not sure if they're ready, but we're going to throw it over to the boys. They've done their cooking. I don't know why we're throwing to them, but yeah, have fun, boys.
I still got sprinkles in my hair.
Good. You deserve it for putting a sweet potato in my mac and cheese.
It was the long-term payback. Well done to AV.
Yeah,
They're having a
game.
great start to the split.
Yeah, and I think just echoing what Bryce said, like this was a really standard comp. This was Sona plus Galio, which you don't really see all that much. And I think that they honestly got into a pretty rough position in a portion of that game where if Order didn't make a mistake, they couldn't really contest Dream on the mid lane wave, and you could see it was kind of throwing their 1-3-1 a little bit out of whack. And I mean, Order even took a base turret off the back end of it, right? But they did a really good job of catching, I think, Tally twice and Swiffle once, and even like a couple of over-aggressive plays from Order. Like there was a team fight mid lane where Order initiated the fight, and Dream recalled after the fight and bought an outright looters.
Yeah.
Like you're fighting when your 80 carry has like 3,000 plus gold in his back pocket. So I think like that was just a really nice standard clean game from Avant. It shows that kind of that they can play the early game, they can play the late game, and that they're just more of a well-rounded team this split.
Absolutely.
Can I just say as well, because there's a lot of comments in the chat right now about how Jake's biased against Order, so I'll say the opposite of what you've just said then. I think it was a real messy game from AV. I think that holding all that gold for the Ludens was actually a great play, and I think that Tally getting caught was sick, dude.
Thanks.
All right, good. Helpful. Very helpful. All right, well, thank you very much for hanging out for a pretty eventful day, I would say, here at the LCS. We have...
We're going to get in so much trouble for this.
What are they going to do?
At eGym for all your complaints, please.
The results from today. Let's see what happened. Obviously, a lot was cooked, but also cooked. The Direwolves versus Gravitas Bombers take out the win against the Chiefs. Legacy, Groot fall to Mammoth, and finally Order not being able to take the W against Avant. If we look at the standings now, after the end of week 2 for this split, Mammoth top of the table with 4 wins, and it's Avant with 3. The Chiefs are sitting on the Chiefs are sitting on 2 wins, equal third with Direwolves and Bombers, Legacy, Gravitas, and Order rounding out the bottom half of the table.
Yeah, and I mean, really promising start for Mammoth, I think in particular. You know, they've gone 4-0 so far, but surprising start for Avant. This is the first lineup they've played with their full team. They're still 3-1. They're above the likes of Bombers. They're above the likes of the Chiefs on the ladder. Really excited to see what this roster can do for the rest of the OPL split.
Absolutely. Taking a look at the games that we will be starting off the next week with, it is Direwolves versus Avant. That should be a very interesting match. Mammoth, undefeated so far, go against Order, who are looking to prove themselves. Chiefs take on Groot, and finally Gravitas versus Bombers will round out the day. Also, you need to come to MEO. I assume we'll be doing something like this. So head to melbourneesportsopen.com.au/tickets to get yours, because it's a wonderful event in, I would say, trash tier city.
I would say that we're going to be doing something like this, Nick, but in the greatest city to ever grace the Earth's presence.
There'll be a lot more coffee beans.
Cannot wait for you guys to do a
Yes,
cooking stream in Rod Laver Arena.
Exactly
It's going
right.
to be really great.
It should be a good time. So head there, get your tickets. We would be very excited to see you. And of course, someone else who's very excited to see you and see you hanging around for the whole broadcast are our sponsors. That is McDonald's, the official partner of the OPL. M-Wave, the official retailer of the OPL. We've got HyperX, the official headset of the OPL. And we have Hingers.
The official host
Yes.
of the OPL.
The official host of the
I've
OPL.
decided to sponsor this broadcast. I'm going to pay you guys in brownies, and I get to plug my Twitter, which is @Hingers.
Well, there you go. @Hingers, the official brownie of the OPL. So thank you very much for hanging out.
Are we playing some games now?
We are, of course. It is the MPL that's coming
MPL.
up next. So, I mean, you got to triple.
We have so many leagues. We have the OPL, we have the LCS, we have the NPL.
We give you
Yeah,
value
OCS,
for money
yes.
if we give you anything. The MPL is starting up in 5 minutes' time.
Quality versus quantity.
We would love to see you guys. That is where you take on the casting team in a ARAM. There's a custom game lobby being set up right now. It has a password that I'm going to try and make you guys guess. If you can't guess it, I'll just give it to you.
You have a sprinkle in your eyebrow.
It's like they're deep in me. Like in the brown.
He's more sprinkled than man now.
I am more sprinkled than man right now, so I'm going to take 5 minutes, de-sprinkle, and we'll see you for Nick Plays League. Thanks very much for hanging out for week 2.
At Macca's, our burgers are now hotter, juicier, and tastier, with onions added at the grill for more flavour, perfectly melted cheese, and softer buns. They're the best Macca's burgers ever.